Hi, this is Tutor Nick P, and this is noun phrase 252. The noun phrase today is queen bee. Okay, somebody wants a screenshot? Do it right now. Let's get right into it. The main meaning of queen bee, of course, is the single fertile bee in a hive, because there's usually just one bee that is actually reproducing at a time, and she reproduces a lot too. Now, the second meaning is probably the one we will concentrate on more for this video, because most people probably already know the first meaning. And of course, this second meaning comes from the idea of the first meaning as well. All right, so what is the second meaning here? A woman in a position of authority who has a controlling position in a particular group, especially in a company or some organization. The term could be neutral to simply suggest one is the main woman in charge, but is more often used in a negative way to mean she is an ambitious leader who is more often tougher on female employees. Okay, this is a little strange because I've done articles, I've covered in class where I've had students, and for whatever reason it came up. It came up like with women, would they prefer a male boss or a female boss? And I was really surprised with the answers that the far majority of women said they preferred a male boss to a female boss. Most of them gave the answers because she thought the woman boss was always too picky about small details and things like that, sometimes too emotional too. These are probably some of the reasons they said, but I was really surprised that, it was overwhelmingly, 80 to 90% of women all said that they preferred men bosses. And it's really kind of surprised me. I don't know if it's related to this idea at all, but just from my own experience of teaching classes where this came up, it always seemed to be that way. The other ones didn't necessarily say that they preferred a woman. They just said, it didn't matter, case by case basis. For myself, in the past, I've had male and female bosses, and I feel kind of that way, that, depends on who it is. Depends on the boss. Obviously, some women bosses are better, some men bosses are better, or worse, or vice versa. Okay, let's continue. Let's go on. All right. So there's even something referred to as queen bee syndrome. So this does exist. They talk about this, in which female leaders may consider younger female underlings, people who are below them, as competitors, and sometimes may refuse to advance them, preferring a male. So they might think of them as their competition, or they tend to be tougher on them. So I don't know. Let me know if this is true. If you're a female and you ever had a female boss, does it matter? What was your experience? Did you think that female bosses are better or not better, or is it a case-by-case basis? Or, did you agree with maybe what some of the other women said from my class? Do you prefer a male boss, or does it matter? What was your experience like? Let me know. All right, let's continue. All right. There's also a queen bee use in schools. We see this in a lot of those teenage movies. Typically someone who is like a school princess, very beautiful. She probably gets another group of girls that kind of follow her, and they're all kind of princesses. Often being described as being beautiful, charismatic, but also manipulative, using people, maybe putting people down, thinking that they are better than others, something like that. Perhaps someone who is a head cheerleader or queen of the ball. Now, again, when I was in university, I knew a few cheerleaders. I didn't find them to be particularly this way. And I'm sure there's a lot of cheerleaders, don't take offense. They may not be this way at all. They may be very nice. Just like there's some very nice women bosses too. Or queen of the ball, but if we are to believe some of those teenage movies, though, they often do have characters like that. All right, let's continue. And we have 4 examples just to show how we would use it here. Here's the first one. Jenny thinks she is the queen bee around the office. Maybe she's the head woman around the office. I don't know if she's above all the other employees too, but maybe she acts like it. She behaves like it. Some commentators have referred to Nancy Pelosi as the queen bee of Congress. Well, I've heard that too. Yeah, she's been around. Sometimes when the Democrats are in charge of Congress, she'll usually be the one that's the head of the House of Representatives. All right, number 3, She is the queen bee of the cheerleading team. Okay, maybe. And number 4, well, this goes back to the original, the actual real bee. A queen bee can lay up to 1,500 eggs per day, so she's very busy. I think there's a lot of women, female, that are glad that maybe they're not a queen bee. I don't know if they'd want to do that much work. But anyway, this is the way we might hear it used. Okay, I hope you got it. I hope it was clear. I hope it was informative. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.